If it is necessary to make an emergency stop while driving on an interstate, you should A. Sound your horn at passing cars to get their attention. B. Get out of your vehicle and flag down the first vehicle that passes. C. Pull off the road, turn on your emergency flashers, and stay in your vehicle, if you can. C. Pull off the road, turn on your emergency flashers, and stay in your vehicle, if you can. If you must stop on the shoulder of the interstate or highway, turn on your emergency flashers to warn other drivers and stay inside your vehicle, if you can. The extremely high speed of traffic makes standing or walking along an interstate highway very dangerous. Before switching on the ignition, you should A. Buckle your safety belt. B. Be sure all passengers have buckled their safety belts. C. Both of the above. C. Both of the above. Develop a routine for entering and leaving your car. Before switching on the ignition, buckle your safety belt and see that all passengers do likewise. If you have had several beers, the effects of alcohol will be reduced only by A. Taking a cold shower. B. Waiting several hours. C. Drinking several cups of coffee. B. Waiting several hours. The only way to remove the impairing effects of alcohol is to give the body time to remove it from the body. Drinking coffee, physical activity, or taking a cold shower will not speed up this process. It takes about 1 hour to cancel the effects of one drink. To improve visibility lowered by rain or fog, drivers should use their A. Low beam headlights. B. High beam headlights. C. Parking lights. A. Low beam headlights. Low beam headlights should be used when driving in rainy or foggy weather. Even if they do little to help you see, low beams will make it easier for others to see you.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
This road sign means A. You must travel through the intersection at the posted speed limit. B. The maximum speed limit under ideal conditions is 55 miles per hour. C. You must not travel below the speed indicated. B. The maximum speed limit under ideal conditions is 55 miles per hour. Regulatory signs provide notice to road users of traffic laws that must be obeyed. This particular sign tells you the maximum speed limit for the stretch of highway where it is posted. You may drive more slowly than the posted speed limit, based on road conditions, but it is illegal to drive any faster than the posted speed limit. When approaching an intersection that is controlled by a flashing red traffic signal, you must A. Come to a complete stop, yield to oncoming traffic or pedestrians, then proceed. B. Reduce your speed and proceed with caution. C. Come to a complete stop and remain stopped as long as the light is red. A. Come to a complete stop, yield to oncoming traffic or pedestrians, then proceed. Treat a flashing red traffic signal the same as you would treat a stop sign. Come to a complete stop, yield to oncoming traffic or pedestrians, and proceed when the way is clear. If your wheels drop off the roadway or pavement edge, you should A. Wait until it is safe to do so, then gradually re-enter the roadway. B. Turn back onto the roadway immediately. C. Stop, A. Wait until it is safe to do so, then gradually re-enter the roadway. If your wheels drop off the roadway or pavement edge, do not attempt to turn back onto the roadway immediately. Instead, reduce your speed, check traffic, and gradually turn back onto the roadway when it is safe to do so. You have allowed the wheels of your vehicle to run off the edge of the pavement. What should you do first? A. Turn the front wheels slightly to the left to edge the car back onto the pavement. B. Hold the steering wheel firmly, release the gas pedal, and gently apply the brakes. C. Apply the brakes and turn the front wheels sharply to the left. B. Hold the steering wheel firmly, release the gas pedal, and gently apply the brakes. If your vehicle leaves the roadway, hold the steering wheel firmly, release the gas pedal, and gently apply the brakes. Wait until your speed has reduced, check the traffic, and look for a place to safely return to the roadway by merging back into traffic. Overcompensating by jerking the wheel to return to the roadway can cause you to lose control of your vehicle or may cause your car to go into other lanes of traffic. If you are driving near a large commercial vehicle, you should A. Follow the large vehicle closely to reduce wind drag on your vehicle. B. Avoid driving beside it for long stretches of time. C. Drive on its right side when on curves and hills. B. Avoid driving beside it for long stretches of time. Because large commercial vehicles have large blind spots on each side, you should avoid driving beside them for long periods of time. Prior to entering a curve. A. Activate your turn signal. B. Reduce your speed. C. Brake hard. B. Reduce your speed. You may drive more slowly than the posted speed limit, based on road conditions, but it is illegal to drive any faster than the posted speed limit. Some conditions which require reduced speed for safety include approaching curves or hills where visibility is limited, driving on slippery roads, and driving on roads where animals and pedestrians are present. If you are driving and a tire suddenly goes flat, you should A. Rapidly pump the brake pedal several times. B. Slow down gradually and not brake. C. Press down on the brake pedal as hard as you can. B. Slow down gradually and not brake. If a tire blows out or suddenly goes flat while you are driving, grip the steering wheel firmly and keep the vehicle aiming straight. Take your foot off the accelerator and do not brake. Allow the vehicle to slow by itself and use the brakes gently, but only if necessary. Pull off the road when it is safe to do so. You may pass a vehicle when A. You are on a hill or curve. B. You are on a road with a solid line next to your lane. C. You are on a road with a broken line next to your lane. C. You are on a road with a broken line next to your lane. A single broken line indicates that drivers may cross from either lane to change lanes. Dashed yellow lines alongside solid yellow lines indicate that passing is permitted from the lane next to the broken line, but not from the lane next to the solid line. Only change lanes when it is safe to do so. To enter a gap in highway traffic. A. Watch only the vehicles behind the gap. B. Check behind you, then watch the vehicle ahead. C. Speed up and let the other vehicles make way. B. Check behind you, then watch the vehicle ahead. Whenever you want to change lanes or enter traffic, you must be sure that there are no vehicles in your way in the lane you want to enter. Always check for traffic to the side of and behind your vehicle before you change lanes. At intersections with a yield sign, you must a. Yield the right-of-way to cross traffic that is near enough to cause conflict. b. Yield the right-of-way only to vehicles on your right. c. Always slow down and proceed without stopping. a. Yield the right-of-way to cross traffic that is near enough to cause conflict. At a yield sign, you must slow down or stop, if necessary, and give the right-of-way to crossing or merging vehicles. Yield the right-of-way to any cross traffic that is close enough to cause conflict. If you become drowsy while driving, you should a. Try to fight it. b. Take a break. c. Take some caffeine pills. b. Take a break. If you start to feel tired while driving, drive to the first available rest stop or service area to take a break, nap, stretch, or change drivers. You should not rely on caffeine pills or energy drinks, as these are not a replacement for rest and may make your driving even more dangerous. This sign is a yield sign. b. School crossing sign. c. Stop sign. a. Yield sign. A downward-facing triangular sign is always a yield sign. Drivers must be prepared to slow down or stop when approaching a yield sign. You must obey instructions from school crossing guards. a. At all times. b. Only during school hours. c. Unless you do not see any children present. a. At all times. Drivers should be alert to the presence of crossing guards when near a school and must always obey their instructions. A driver should a. Assume all drivers automatically obey the right-of-way rules. b. Assume most drivers obey the right-of-way rules. c. Always be prepared to yield the right-of-way. c. Always be prepared to yield the right-of-way. Although the right-of-way rules provide a guide to determine who should yield the right-of-way at an intersection, no one should assume they automatically have the right-of-way. The situation and circumstances at an intersection must always be considered. Drivers should yield their legal right-of-way if it can help prevent a collision. If a traffic signal light is green and a police officer signals for you to stop, you should a. Obey the officer. b. Obey the traffic signal. c. Do what the vehicle in front of you does. This sign indicates a railroad crossing. b. Pedestrian crossing. c. No passing zone. a. Railroad crossing. Yellow signs with black markings are used to warn drivers about upcoming hazards or special conditions. Round signs are used only to warn about upcoming railroad crossings. This sign means a. No right turn. b. Stop sign ahead. c. Divided highway. a. No right turn. This sign indicates that turns in the direction of the arrow, in this case, to the right, are prohibited. This sign means a. Divided highway. b. Railroad warning. c. No passing zone. a. Divided highway. This sign indicates that a divided highway begins ahead. There are oncoming vehicles to your left and a row of parked vehicles to your right. You should steer A. Closer to the oncoming vehicles than the parked vehicles. B. Closer to the parked vehicles than the oncoming vehicles. C. A middle course between the oncoming and parked vehicles. C. A middle course between the oncoming and parked vehicles. If there are oncoming vehicles to your left and a row of parked vehicles to your right, the best thing to do is to split the difference. Steer a middle course between the oncoming cars and the parked cars. You may legally block an intersection. A. If you entered the intersection on the green light. B. During rush hour traffic. C. Under no circumstances. C. Under no circumstances. Even if the light is green, you may not enter an intersection unless you can get completely across before the light turns red. If you block the intersection, you can be cited. Before you change lanes, you should check your mirrors and A. Never look over your right shoulder. B. Always slow down in your traffic lane. C. Glance over your shoulder. C. Glance over your shoulder. Before changing lanes, it is very important to check behind you. You should look over your shoulder to ensure that you are not getting in the way of vehicles in the lane you want to enter. Before changing lanes, you should also ensure that no drivers are attempting to drive into the same spot from a different lane.